The death of Matthew Perry being investigated for more than just a tragic death and an overdose. They're now looking into possible charges into individuals who may have provided some of the drugs that were in his system, ketamine specifically. At the time of his death, they believe, according to toxicology reports, it was a dose that was more reminiscent of one you'd get in the hospital, not necessarily one that you'd be getting from a doctor administered, which he had one done about a week prior by a doctor, but the levels should not have been anywhere near they were when he was found deceased. Joining me to discuss, Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent, chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program. How difficult is it for something like this, to truly point fingers at people to say, you caused this because you gave him the drugs when he's actively taking it, under controlled circumstances, and there were other drugs in his system, and he drowned. Yeah, I mean, and obviously he's a celebrity, so there's a little more attention going on to this one. But what's your thoughts on this? And can it go anywhere? Will it go anywhere?
Let's just look back at the other famous model, this one we have, and that's Michael Jackson's case.
Yeah, but
That's what the
there the
person.
doctor was in his house.
Yeah, I think when I saw when I saw that this originally when it came up, and even now just seeing this, it is an extremely tragic, sad case of someone battling addiction, effectively, ineffectively, very, very owning it that he had a problem and battling all he had against it, and he lost.
Yeah.
And from my optic, he was trying to offset an addiction to one thing with an addiction to another thing.
Hmm.
And it's a powerful drug he was taking. It is used as an antidepressant, but it is also used as an hallucinogen as well. So,
Yeah.
um, and so whoever gave it to him probably so this is why the criminal part of it's very, very challenging. So again, if we just look at the example we have of the Michael Jackson case, the likelihood that this was prescribed or he got it from a clinician of some sort is probably decently high.
Hmm.
Maybe I'll give it at a 60 or 70% chance he got it from someone that's licensed to give it. And got it under probably very specific instructions about when and how to use it. And I mean, he probably had been as well. This was probably not a one off. So this fit a behavior arc of what he was doing to probably battle not only depression, but his addiction to other things. Boy, I'm using a lot of conjecture here, I know. But that's what we do when we have limited
Yeah,
facts and
but I mean, it
details.
makes sense.
And what he did was he made a mistake because one of the side effects of this is that you lose consciousness, you pass out, and so when you do that in a hot tub, and it's just a recipe for you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah.
And I think, and then going, I think the hard part is going to be, like you said, is identifying who gave it to him,
Yeah.
maybe. But as we saw in the Karen Reed case, some of these guys with digital forensic evidence and research are friggin' stinking good.
Yeah. It
And
would.
and, and I'm sorry, one more thing. And because and so let's hope that because he was pretty open with his addiction problems
Mhm.
and battling them, that in other words, when you have someone that's kind of owning their behavior and battling and in recovery, they're a lot more transparent, and that secret place isn't as large. It's
Mhm.
kind of out there. And so when you're not going out of your way to really hide behaviors, hide who you are, hide things, the ability for investigators to find those things becomes a lot easier. And
Sure.
so when you're dealing with someone, again, conjecture in Matthew Perry's case, where he was more open about his issues and challenges he's having in life, the ability of investigators to follow that trail is probably going to be a lot better.
Yeah, true. It's interesting because I'm wondering if we're talking about, because they've been very specific on who they're looking into in this. Are we talking about somebody on the street, or somebody who just deals in prescription drugs that not licensed? I'm talking here.
Right.
But then you also do have clinics. You have all sorts of clinics, and you go to the right people, and they're not cross-checking, across other clinics that this person hasn't gotten this controlled substance there or there.
Yep.
It's probably pretty easy in some ways to manipulate those systems as well, to go get it over here and get it over there if nobody knows you got it already. That's got to be kind of a hard trail to follow, and then also a hard one to prosecute if the clinician, even if they're not the best of clinicians, and we've seen a lot of that in the world of meth and such. It or not meth, of what am I thinking of? The opiate epidemic that we've had here, and people getting opiates from their prescribers. Um,
Oxycodone.
Oxycodone is what I'm thinking of. Yes, it just was slipping me for a second. We've seen a lot of that. It
Mhm.
makes you wonder um, if some of that was going on here, where yeah, maybe they overprescribe to people without the best of things. That should certainly be investigated. But um, is it were they doing anything that they truly knew was wrong if they had no way to determine that he already had this much in his possession?
Yeah, that makes it extremely difficult, especially when you have, like you say, when you take celebrity,
Hmm.
you take someone who owns behavior, and in other words, places that prescribe prescriptions like this are on their guard about people that are trying to hide an addiction. But
Yeah,
if you have someone comes in, I have an addiction, I have a
yeah,
problem, I've been fighting it. You see it on Matthew Perry.
yeah,
I know my normal clinic is out, so I came over here. I mean, there's
yeah,
again just
yep.
a
And you got
hypothetical.
yeah, you
It
got
fits a
Chandler,
narrative.
yeah, sitting there going, "Oh, Chandler Bing, he's gonna, yeah, I'll help him." What that you have that plays into it too. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. I certainly hope if there's anyone that was giving this to him and knew that they should not be. Yeah, that certainly needs to be looked at. I just wonder how difficult that is going to be, and where
I
that
think
will
it's gonna
all
be,
play out. But
I think it's
ultimately,
yeah.
his death raised more awareness to the problems that we have with our system, and just how easy it is for someone to continue to go down a very destructive path, even when they're trying not to. Um, yeah, it's a sad story.
Addiction rough. Addiction
Yeah.
is crazy rough, and addicts are extremely resourceful,
Mhm.
innovative, and inventive.
Some of the best.
And yeah, they are the best. I mean, I've heard stories of alcoholics hiding alcohol in shampoo bottles and taking 6 showers a day, and no one knew what was going on.
I've heard about people putting alcohol in shampoo bottles to get onto cruise ships with their own alcohol. Which
The best I ever heard was the alcohol going into windshield wiper fluid in a car and then sucking it out of the windshield
oh
wipers.
my God. Wow. Wow. But that's it's we kind of laugh, but it's like that's a
Uh,
horrible addiction. If that's the point that you are at,
yep.
my goodness, that's a dark, dark place to be at.
That's why I don't put it past anyone. So he is displaying most likely the behaviors of trust. He was open, transparent, and
Yep.
vulnerable. When
Yep.
you're displaying those three behaviors, people are going to be inspired to trust you when you make a request saying that, "Hey, I'm using it for my depressants. My other clinic is out." Blah
Yeah.
blah blah.
Yeah.
So he was using again, manipulating, using again, pure conjecture.
Yeah.
Because I feel hard for what he was battling. I think he was doing a great job battling it because he was owning it. He's seeking help, but ultimately he lost the battle, which ultimately caused him to give himself a tragic accident.
Yeah. Such a sad story all around.
Is
Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.